Good morning. Namaste. Welcome one and all. So this is the 9th session covering the third topic called indirect tax law compliance. So you have already seen what is indirect tax. Taxes which has been collected by the consumer to the citizen, and the taxes are not paid by any others, and the tax is not paid by any trade or industry or any other. It is a consumer tax directly to be paid by the consumer to the government, but for many opportunities there will be many people in between. That's what actually the system is called indirect tax. Instead of paying the taxes directly to the government, the consumers will pay in the hands of that middleman. So that middleman will take that tax and will deposit to the government. That is his obligation. So business is an opportunity. Of course, maybe a charity, but business is a business. So generally, while complying, the taxes flow from a consumer to the citizen. So there will be many aspects. So indirect taxation. So the first and foremost thing required is number one, a registration. So once he is registered, he has to file the return. Once he filed the return, if there are dues, he has to pay the taxes. That is called remittance. Okay, if any excess amounts are there, if he is eligible, he can take the refunds. So this is the first phase of the circle. So this is prima facie. Initially, if we don't do any mistakes, so there will be automatically the compliance is fair enough and always fluent, clean, neat. If there are any mistakes, so then you have to go for the second inner limb. That's what actually the circle called as reconcile. So look back, reconcile. Once you reconcile, if you find any mistakes, you have to rectify. So you rectify it. So, okay. So once you rectify, it may require some representation. So if at once, if you are represented, if it is over, then it's okay. Otherwise, you have to represent the another limb called appeals, tribunals, High Court, Supreme Court, going back to the lawmaker. All these things will be there. Why I am giving this broader parlance means, if we are fair enough in basic compliance, there will be no need of looking back to the next circle. Okay, so our trainer CA Pooja madam will take the class. So be patient and hear all the session, and any doubts at the end, you can text it or you raise your hands. Then we will allow you. We will clarify you. Okay, happy class. Thank you. Welcome, madam.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning to all. So pre-introduction of GST, what are the taxes which we used to deal? Pre text,
Earlier to GST.
yes, VAT, entry tax, trade duty.
Fringe benefit tax is not indirect tax. Fringe benefit tax is a direct taxes which is levied in income tax law only. FBT.
Post we have GST. What about excise duty on alcohol? Excise duty on alcohol. Is it included in our GST? Property tax? No. Custom duty? So manufacturing of steel utensils. Is it included in GST or excluded from GST? If manufacturing of steel utensils, example. Okay. Yes. So, pre-introduction, we used to deal with entry tax, VAT, service tax, excise, octroi, many other. So, like that, central excise, if we come for state, CST, purchase tax, and entertainment tax, and taxes on lottery, betting, games, surcharge, and etc. So, post introduction of GST, so we deal with just GST. In GST, you get either goods or services, one return, one nation, one return. And few taxes are not included in GST, so such as property tax, electricity duty, excise duty on alcohol, basic custom duty, and excise duty on petroleum products. Okay, so initially pre-introduction, I used to buy the raw material. My screen share. See, purchase of raw material. So I used to pay VAT. Then again, manufacture, VAT and excise duty. So excise duty credit I was not able to utilize for the sale of my output, right? Again, sale to wholesaler, VAT. From VAT, then this person you can utilize this VAT input and sell to the end user. Okay, but as in post introduction, buying the raw materials, GST, manufacturing GST, so you can take the credit and carry forward, okay, and you utilize for your outputs. Yeah. So principle is, it is broad based of value added tax, destination based, and GST is technically paid by the supplier but actually borne by customer. And GST is collected at multiple stages of production and distribution of goods and services in which tax paid on inputs are allowed as set off against the taxes payable on output. Okay, GST is the tax on consumption of the products from the business source and not the personal use. If I'm using the products for my personal use, I cannot claim the GST. Under GST, input tax credit provided throughout the value chain for creditable acquisitions. Okay. If my, see, I have example in GST. If I have purchased a raw material for 5% and manufactured, okay, manufactured, but my output becomes exempt. In that case, can I claim GST input? Can I claim GST input or refund? Refund. No refund. In this case, 5% is my cost to the company. Cost to company, add to P&L. Okay. Unless my output is taxable, I cannot claim my input credit. It's a general rule. Okay. Then components of GST is my CGST, SGST, IGST. Where my if if I'm doing my intra sale within the state, so I need to pay at equal distribution 9%, 9%. That is one for central government, one for state government. If it is between states, interstate sales, IGST, that will be paying all 18% to the central. Then benefits, creation of unified national market, mitigation of cascading effect. Usually we used to pay CST at 2%. So you were not liable to claim input credit when it used to come in interstate sales. Okay. Elimination of multiple taxes and double taxation. So During pre-GST, I used to, if it's a interstate sale, I used to pay 2%. Again, on that, I used to pay my local VAT, right? Double cascading effects. Tax on tax. Make in India initiative, increase in revenue. So these are the taxes which has been combined, and tax not subsumed is my property tax, electricity duty, excise duty on alcohol, basic custom duty, and base excise duty on petrol and diesel. Yeah. So what is GST and what are their benefits? Functions of GSTN. GSTN. Okay. GSTN. What is GSTN? What is GSTN? Please. Easy to collect. Yeah, network. GST network. Next. Their functions. These all you will be knowing. One tax. Manage GST portal. Yes, manage GST portal. That's it. Only collect tax. That's it. What is my first step? No. File returns. Without registration, how can I file returns? Registration. GST is a company who manages GST portal. Okay. Instead of online, I can do even offline registration and returns filing also. Why GST? Basically, what type of company they are? Whether goods or service oriented company. What type of service they are giving to us? Both. Goods, no. Service oriented, yes. Digital maintained documents. So, my GST are 51% and 49%, where 51% private companies, 49% government shareholding. And it's a non-profit organization, and it's a Section 8 company. Section 8 company, main IT support. IT support. And if the private players are they are like banking and finance companies are the private players, and immediate effects. So example, if I have not filed the return for 3 months, they give plus 3 months time. Then you will get an cancellation, so moto cancellation. These orders are automatically mailed to your mail ID, and it will be reflecting in the GST portal. This type of development. What are my initial glitches in my GST, which has been overcome now? Example. So, at the first in 2017, I was not able to locate my GST portal website also. When we type n number of times GST website in Chrome, we were not getting that portal. After 1 week, 15 days, we got the portal. Hmm. The next registration glitches. My 2A 2A, 2B was not reflecting. I used to claim ITC. Hmm. Even without documents, as we used to claim in VAT. Yes, 2A and 3B mismatched. Then GSTR 1 meant many changes. Many changes in GSTR 1. Form 3 to Form 3B. Yes, you get in GSTR 2B summary of your input credits. Then annual return glitches. We are working from initial in GST portal from 2017. You will get to know the glitches which we have overcome now. Now it is transparent. Now your three GSTR one, whatever returns sales has been uploaded in one, it will be reflected in 2A and 2B, right? To claim the credits. Yes. So you can appeal online also. Oh, okay. So GST is a Section 8 company, 49% owned by central government, 51 by private players. They do private players are banks and financial institutions. It provides infrastructure and service to both central and state government. So national information utility. Okay. Before play, like private players means there should be a trust. Okay, because the information of all the assessees will be with the GSTN. Okay, and GSTN ownership as told and robust and infrastructure and complex operations. Okay, the next information security payment bank, well, online and offline. Now even you can pay the GST liability via credit card also. These facilities, new facilities will be made by GSTN. So if my bank account, now recent bank account is not added to my GST, can I file in GST login? Can I file my return? If bank account is not added, not possible. So how many months? After how many months they disable? 30 days. So initially within 6 months they used to take. Now within 30 days you will get the pop-up message to add the bank account. So within 3 months they'll start disabling. Okay. And expenses will be borne by both state and central government. Mainly the functions, registration, invoice matching, return filing, the taxpayer profile validation. So in GST, we know we have e-way bill, e-way. Goods, the value of goods more than 50,000, I need to file e-way bill. E-way bill auto pop up to my GSTR one goods. Okay, this to my the person who purchased from me GSTR 2B. So in 3B, just confirm whether it is true and file the returns. Right? Initially, we used to type, yeah, even e-invoice. Yes, e-invoice. What are the taxable events? Taxable event. Give me the examples. Any example for taxable event? Sale, yes. Service, RCM. So I had a construction of road. So when is my taxable event? Construction of road. So the project was for 3 months. I mean, laying of road. When running bills, yes. Advance, no. Government projects, unless you do the work on running bills, uh, partially after scrutinizing the bills, they'll pay, release the amount. Okay. Taxable event is that occurs and result in tax liability. The occurrence of taxable event is crucial event in any loss since the levy on collection depends on it. Okay. The next. So Article 366 12A tells GST as any tax on supply of goods or services or both, except for taxes on supply, except for taxes on supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So my components of taxable event is all the forms of supply of goods. Okay, like whether it is a sale, it is a transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, or disposal, made or agreed to be made for the consideration by a person in the course or furtherance in the case of business. Okay, so one example. So for one example, sorry. Okay, now I had a manufacturing company. Okay, like say clothing industry. It was in a state A and state B. Okay, same materials. He is my friend. That's it. Okay, I got an order. Okay, got an order in state B. Okay, I feel instead of transferring, okay, he has a business here, even he has an order. Instead of transferring to Mr. M, I told B only to transfer the goods to him. Okay, and B will be B's business. A will be transferring the goods. In such case, GST on whom will be laid? Who will raise the bill first? In the case of A, for A, Mr. M has ordered. Who will raise the bill? Yes, Mr. A. And for X who will raise? For X, barter system. Yes, same materials has been A to M. Yes, B to A. Yes, it is a barter system. I'm exchanging same materials. Instead of transferring, I'm like saving my transportation cost. So here, so the wood service like sale normal in the course of normal business, if A to M direct sale, transfer, barter system, exchange, license, rental, lease, or disposal. Okay. So renting of commercial property, okay, leasing of advertisement place, okay. So or sale of scrap. In such cases, this is a taxable event where GST is charged for an consideration or in the course of furtherance of business. Okay. Then what are the conditions? Conditions is to be the supply should be within taxable territory and should maintain then exchange for the consideration. Consideration is described as barter of the products or services or monetary or in kind payment of supply. Government accepts an advance payment or deposit towards the supply as a kind of consideration. Then types of supplies. Supply of goods are divided into two categories, the taxable supplies and non-taxable supplies. So where GST is charged, okay, GST is charged is taxable and regular taxable also is more than the 0%, that is 1%, 2%, regular taxable, nil rated where GST is charged at 0%, and zero rated where sales are made to exports, supplies to an SEZ units, considered exports. Okay, the GST on goods or services involved in zero, even though they would be subject to the GST rate higher than the 0%, 0% if sold within India. Okay, if I'm selling the what raw materials within India, my GST is 5%. But if I'm exporting, my GST will become 0%. Clear? Non-taxable supplies, that is exempt supplies, even if they are subject to GST, the supply of exempt products or services is not subject to it. The registered taxpayer, however, cannot claim the ITC, ITC on the inputs used to make such supplies. Okay, non-GST we suppliers who are not covered within the ambit of the GST Act. Then composite. So composite and mixed. So one example for composite. Can I get any one example for composite? Example, composite hotel work contract. So composite is where goods and services are inseparable. Whereas mixed, they can be sold even separately also. If I'm giving a software attached with accessories, accessories plus 5 years of service. Okay. Whereas all these 5 years I can take some separate software company also, accessories I can purchase individually also, software also individually. So mixed where artificially the product the goods and services are mixed together. So this is called mixed supply. Okay. Next. So goods. So as per section 2 subsection 52, any kind of movable property, okay, movable goods excludes money and securities, shares, but includes actionable claims, growing crops, gross and things attached to or forming part of the land agreed to be served before or under a contract of supply. If it is my supply, anything other than goods, first condition, anything other than goods excludes money security, but includes separate consideration is charged, use of money or conversion. Okay, currency exchange. Okay, there is a recent amendment in 2023. Actionable claims, before it was actionable claims other than betting, gambling, and lottery. Now, actionable claims other than specified actionable claims, and thus actionable claim qualifies supply. Okay, all other actionable claims are outside the ambit of definition of supply, that is betting, casino, gambling, horse racing, lottery, and online money gaming. Okay, next, same. So supply is sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease. disposable made or agreed to be made for the consideration by person in the course of business or furtherance of the business. Input of services for consideration whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. Okay, so we need input on RCM basis. The business person should pay the GST and import the goods. The activities made in Schedule 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So, next question is GST applicable on free and sample products? GST applicable on free and sample products? Okay. GST. Yes. So in accounts, distribution of GST, goods on sample basis. So increasing my market, right? Marketing. So I will be charging not at selling price. I'll be charging to my P&L at cost price. Yes. So whatever GST I have claimed on certain goods, the ITC to be reversed. So where GST, where GST on my particular goods. See, if goods manufactured for distributing. So my input, my initial intention for the goods were to supply as a free sample. So to increase my market. Okay. So no input where no output tax will be payable. So whatever ITC you have claimed should be reversed. Okay. So I'm manufactured in the normal course, but so I had a the old dated stock. So I need to close them, clear it. So clearance stock example. Clearing as giving as free sample. Okay. So in that case also no output tax will be payable. So whatever input credit is received should be reversed. Next, so goods manufactured to be distributed as free sample. So initially, I thought I will manufacture the goods for the purpose of marketing, but later I distributed to manufacture to sell them out. So on that case, I need to pay output tax and ITC whatever reverse can be allowed. So next, free sample of goods to the respective manufacturer without any consideration. Okay. So if given without any consideration, the output tax is so no output tax is payable, ITC will be reversed. What about buy one and get one? Buy one, get one. Can I claim GS? If GST on output is payable, then ITC credit. Buy one, get one. Yes, payable. Okay. ITC credit, claim ITC. Yes, I can claim ITC. So on weighted average, the price will be charged on weighted average and tax will be paid. Output tax applies on transaction value. Okay, not on selling price. Then ITC is allowed. So next, activities or transactions which shall be treated neither as supply of goods or services. So they are outside the ambit of GST, like employee service by an employee. The GST, we don't, that is in the course of normal employment relations. So GST is not charged. Service by an court tribunal establishment under any law for the time being in force. Functions performed by members of parliament. So the duties performed by any person who holds any post in pursuance of the provision of constitute in that capacity. The duties performed Any person as a chairperson or a member or a director of any body established by central government or state government or local authority who is not deemed as an employee before the commencement of its close clause. Service of uh, crematorium or mortuary includes sale of land and subject to clause B of paragraph of schedule 2, that is sale of building. Okay, actionable claims other than lottery, betting, and gambling. Clear? So next, my charging section. So GST is charged in two bases, forward basis and reverse charge basis. So where first forward basis, the supplier of the goods or services will pay directly to the government, whereas RCM service receiver, the receiver of the goods, will pay the GST on RCM basis by himself only. Okay, where taxable supply by an example unregistered person to a registered person or depends on the nature of supply, like DSA holder, like the loan facilitator. Okay, banks will be liable to pay GST on behalf of the loan facilitator. Example on RCM. So forward charges or direct charge is a mechanism where supplier of the goods or services is liable to pay the tax. Exclusion from the GSTs. CGST on supply of forward items has not been levied immediately. It shall be levied with the effect from such date may be notified from the government. And these are the few items where it is excluded from GST. Okay. Then reverse charge. So the liability to pay by a recipient, that is service receiver. Okay, so like receiver of the goods or both instead of supplier of such goods or service or both. The purpose of applying reverse charge is to increase the compliance. So, in order to create compliance like unregistered, like purchasing the items from unregistered person, so that will increase the what government revenue and even the compliances. Unorganized sector such as transport sector. Okay, so in forward basis, supplier has to assess the tax and transfer the recipient and payment to the central government. Okay, supplier has to register under GST. Monthly basis or quarterly basis, he will be filing his returns. Okay, by using electronic credit ledger or cash. Whereas reverse charge, recipient has to assess the tax and supplier will not charge GST in the invoice. So whatever the invoice given by the supplier will not be GST won't be charged. Recipient is liable to make payment to government. Recipient has to register under GST monthly or in case of quarterly. So then goods. So here to pay GST under reverse charge, he cannot use whatever the correct ITC credits available. He need to pay on the cash basis. So goods, few goods notified under RCM, cashew nuts, BD wrapper leaves. So since your supplier is agriculturist, so registered person should pay on RCM basis. Recipient, silk yarn, lottery, raw cotton, used vehicles seized and confiscated, old and used woods, waste and scrap, where central or state government is your service provider, any registered person, purchase of priority sectors, lending certificates, okay, services, example GTA services, okay, In GTA services, sorry, it is not available. If you are paying GST on RCM basis 5%, then ITC credit is not available. If you are paying the credit, um, GST at 12%, ITC credit is available. So other than that, legal services, okay, any individual advocate, including a senior advocate or a firm of advocates. So when we are receiving these services, legal services from advocates, lawyers, in such case, any business and enterprises need to pay the tax at 18%. Then service provided by tribunal, sponsorship services provided by any body, corporate, or partnership firm. Any person can be there, and any body, corporate, or partnership firm located in the taxable territory, 18%. Okay, few cases where where would GST should be paid on RCM basis. Renting of immovable property. Okay, immovable property services by so my service provider is central government. Okay, to a person registered under GST. So any person registered under GST need to pay the GST. Transfer of development rights or a floor space index, including additional FSI for construction of the project. So transfer of development rights. Okay, in that case, promoter. So when it is joint ventures in that case, and long-term lease service provided by a director of a company or a body corporate to the said company. So company is liable to charge GST. Insurance agent, TSA holder, the recovery agents, copyright service by a music composer. In such case, music company is liable to pay the GST. Supply by way of services by an author by way of transfer of permit or permitting the use of enjoyment of copyrights. In this publisher is liable to pay the GST. These are the cases in where GST should be paid on RCM. DSC holder, that is loan facilitator. Clear? I'm just moving with the slides. If I purchase a service as a transportation from an unregistered person, yes, you need to pay on RCM basis. Yes, RCM basis, yeah, that credit is available. Only in transportation case, if you are paying at lower 5%, credit is not available. And if you are paying at 12%, credit is available. Yeah. So what about my importer? Is he liable to pay on forward basis? So my importer, I'm importing the item, say from USA, that is my non-taxable territory. Okay. In that case, importer is a recipient of goods. He is liable to pay the GST, that is IGST. So that credit can be utilized for my output. Okay. So GST on goods. So what are GST on export, where my supplier is located in India. Okay, sir, goods receiver is in outside the India. Such case, it is shall be deemed to be supply of goods in the course of interstate trade or commerce, and in order to increase my exports, okay, my market. So government has given that whatever you export, in that case, I'll be charging at 0%. According to that, no tax would be payable on such supplies, while exporter will be eligible to claim corresponding ITC. Okay. What initial discussion if my output is exempt? So what if even though I use my input items are taxable, I can't claim the credit, right? But there is an exemption that export of goods or services, such case you can claim the input. Do you know about e-commerce operator? Example, one example for e-commerce operator, e-commerce. Yes, Amazon, Swiggy, Flipkart, okay. Who will be liable to pay GST? Who will be liable to pay GST? Okay. Yes. Color. No. So, e-commerce operators are who owns, operates, manage the digital or electronic facility or platform for electronic commerce. Okay. It has notified the following categories of services supplied. So first is my passenger cab. Okay. Where a person, what a person is a driver who has registered with the Ola. Okay. Any person calls and books in Ola only, right? Ola app. So the next is e-commerce operator is liable to pay GST. Will this person might be an unregistered person also? Unregistered person also. So whatever the sales made from this person, the GST will be paid by Ola. Clear? If renting Oyo, Oyo, where renting of accommodation by unregistered hotels. So even we'll have small hotels also in small what districts also where they have what tied up with the Oyo. So what if you book an what room? Okay, in such case, we'll be paying towards Oyo. Okay. In that case, e-commerce operator is liable to pay the GST. So next, Uber. Sorry, what is a urban company? Urban company where you get cleaned of your house or you are getting housekeeping. Okay. In such also, the urban company is liable to pay GST. Clear? Clear with this e-commerce operator? Yes. Then next. So e-commerce operator small of will he charge TDS or TCS to supplier, not as per income tax. Is TDS or TCS is charged under the GST to e-commerce operator? TCS, yes. TCS is charged, but what percent? Can I use that TCS to my as normal credit ledger? 1%. 1%, sir. Yes. So, e-commerce operator, monthly once the bill will be raised, okay, GST bill, and TCS will be collected. It's like a cash ledger. It lies in my cash ledger. Okay, TCS will be collected and the balance amount will be paid to the supplier. Next, composite dealer. Okay. My first composite dealer whose turnover is less than 1.5 crores, 1 crore 50 lakhs. Okay, can opt for composite scheme. So in such case, ITC credit cannot be claimed. On the turnover, you need to pay the tax. So persons not eligible for availing this scheme is manufacturer of ice creams, a person making interstate supply, a casual taxable person, or a non-resident taxable person. So next, so condition for availing composite is no ITC can be claimed. A dealer cannot supply goods on taxable under the GST. Okay, the taxable has to pay tax on normal rates. Okay, normal rate for transactions under the reverse charge mechanism. Okay, example, if I have purchased cashews, I'm a composite dealer. If I have purchased a cashew, at what price I need to pay tax? Is it eligible for RCM? Yes. What about grass? What the grass which they sell in what square meter for land? Yes. No goods. No. In furtherance of business, right? That grass mat, which what example in and around the companies, they put that grass mat, right? GST is applicable on that. Yes. Whether forward basis or RCM. Forward basis. No. See, I'm purchasing the grass mat from my, if the person's service provider, the goods provided is the agriculturist. On RCM basis, I need to what purchase, okay? And I lay those grass mats in the companies wherever the tender I get. Yes, RCM. Clear? Okay. So I had a business where I used to deal with agriculturist also. So in that case, and can I include this turnovers to my composite supply? No. Yes, it's my purchase. Okay. Then next, if a taxable person has a different segments of business such as textile, electronic accessories, groceries, etc. under a same PAN, they must register all such business under the scheme collectively or opt out the schemes. So if my output is exempt, so in one of the thing, say grocery is my exempt, right? Agriculture product where there is no further processed. Uh, Then I'm keeping even my textile. I have line of items. So either I should be registered under composite or normal. I can't take for one line of business composite, another line of business normal code. Okay. The taxpayer has to mention the word composition taxable person on the every notice or a signboards displayed prominently at their place of business. The taxpayer has to mention the word as composition, a taxable person. Okay, two times yes. Okay. If manufacturer of goods, I need to pay 1%, that is 0.5%, 0.5%. A restaurant not serving alcohol, 5%. Other service providers, 6%. Goods exempt. So exempt are those which are not in the ambit of the GST Act. Okay. So where exemption is given without any condition, like electricity or property tax. So these are outside the ambit of my GST. Well, conditional exempt. So where like in healthcare sector, if the per day room charges more than 5,000, GST is added. GST attracts. Okay. Or or example, I need an example for a conditional. Yeah, if you sell the items to SEZ, absolute exempt. Footwear, what type of hotel? Conditional. Yes, 1,000 rupees. If the per day what hotel rent is more than 1,000, GST, room rent. Next, what about bank charge? What is bank charges? Yeah, up to 10,000. Yes. Any other room rent below 1,000? Yes. Next, any other conditional? So what about if I have an association of person? Okay. So I mean members, example in my apartments. Okay. Where service provided that from that apartment to its members. So up to 1,000 rupees is GST chargeable? GST chargeable? No. If it is more than 1,000 rupees, GST is chargeable. So yes. Conditional is where for certain limit there is no GST. If you cross that limit, GST is applicable. So list of exemption goods, live animals, meat, fish, examples. These are the list of goods which is exempt. Okay. Services, agricultural services. Okay. Well, cultivation, supplying of farm labor, harvesting, these type are exempt. But for if I'm giving the farm what grass mat to the middle person, this person has to pay GST. Okay, government services, transportation services like KSRTC bus. Okay, judicial service, educational service, medical, organizational, other services. So broad classified, these are the services which are exempt. Time of supply. So next time. Time of supply. When can I raise my invoice? Milk is an exempt. Yes. When can I raise? When can I raise my invoice? Come on. When can I raise my invoice? When can I raise my invoice? Movement of goods or services 30 days. Yes. Time of sale, goods, delivery. Yes. So, so taxable goods invoice shall be raised before or at the time. So at the time of removal of goods, okay, for the supply to the recipient where the supply involves movement of goods, delivery of goods, okay, or making the available thereof to the recipient. In other cases, supplier shall issue an invoice. Okay, like the next invoice by supplier of the services, he should be a registered person before or after the provision of the services, but not beyond the 30 days. Beyond 30 days, okay. In case of financial institution, within 45 days, the invoice should be raised. So here are few cases. If my forward charges, usually date of invoice or last date issue, that is 30 days. Okay. So after your completion of work, completion of what transfer of goods, okay, from that 30 days, if I calculate whichever is earlier, okay. Then if it is a services, if invoice is raised within time, date of invoice. Okay. If invoice is not raised within time, then date of completion of completion or receipt, whichever is earlier. If time of supply cannot be determined, okay, either of two cases, date when recipient shows the receipt of the service in his book. RCM basis, RCM date of receipt of goods, okay, date of date of payment, that is example cashew nuts, date of payment, or 31st day of the supplier invoice, okay, whichever is earlier. Same year, but year after 2 months, either date of payment or 61st day of the supplier's invoice. Payment up to ₹1,000 in excess of invoice. So time of supply is an at the option of the supplier on the date of issue of next invoice, in which such payment can be adjusted. So whatever the payments which we excess payment received, okay, it's the option of the advise what supplier to adjust in the next payments, next invoices, voucher. So it is identifiable. So date of issue of voucher. In case of date of redemption, in other cases, redemption of the vouchers. So where time of supply cannot be determined in any of the above sections, then in case of periodical returns to be filed, the date on which the return is filed, in other case, date of payment of tax. Clear? So can I get an answer for first answer? What is the date? First question answer. Time of supply. First question answer. 15. First, date of ABC, date of removal of goods is 15th 6 2018. Then date of invoice is 12. So my invoice date is earlier than removal of goods. Example, Amazon. You have purchased in Amazon. So Amazon first invoice is generated, then goods is removed within 2 to 3 days. So next date of payment is in August. So what is my first condition? Whichever is earlier, right? Date of issue of invoice. Example Amazon. Last date of issue of invoice, whichever is earlier. So answer is 12 6 2018. So this is removal date. After 2 days, 3 days, I'll get the delivery of the goods. Date of removal of goods or date of issue of goods. This is earlier. Okay. So answer is 12/6. Question number 2. Question number 2. The payment is book entry is later. 15/6. Yes, 15/6. Date of invoice and removal of goods is in the same time. So answer is 15/6. Question number 3. Question number 3. Whichever is earlier, 15/7. Not 27. 27 does not come. 15/7. So next is my question number 4. Question number 4. Question number 4. Mix. Please read again. Question number 4. Yeah. MNL AOP removed goods on 1st May 2018. An invoice towards the value issued. Invoice also on same date. The payment the payment by check and entered in the books is 10/4/18. It is realized in the 13/4/2018. Yes. Next. When is my time of supply? So time of supply is 10/4. Advance. Clear? So next, question number 5. Question number 5. Yes, 19/6. Question number 5 is 19/6. Question number 6. Next, question number 6. Balance payment is received in 2nd August. The invoice thereof is issued in 2nd July. Invoice is issued in 2nd July. So I'll be issuing the invoice on 19/6 on advance payment, whatever the advance I have received. Clear with this? So next concept, continuous supply, we'll be discussing in evening.
Yes, many questions are there in the box, madam.
Answers, sir. 2 questions. Last question. So where the bank payment or check I've received in 19/6/2018. Then next, sorry, removed goods. Okay. XYZ removed the goods value, okay, on 19/6. Then and part payment received in 21/5/18. I had a book entry. So next, received a balance payment is received in August. The invoice thereof is issued in 2nd July. 2nd July invoice. 2nd July.
Sure.
So now what is the date? Yeah, 19. 19/5. Bank direct entry. Whichever is earlier. Goods payment or my invoice, whichever is earlier. 19/5. Answer is 19/5. No, this is my book entry, right? But in my bank already it has been realized. So rest we will start in the evening discussion.
Yes. There are some questions, madam.
Yes, sir.
We'll take it all in the evening, or now shall we have 1 or 2 questions here?
1 or 2 questions we can take, sir.
Restaurant sale through Swiggy, rupees 1 lakh. How to declare in GSTR 1? All these things, okay, this e-commerce and other things.
Ha, sir. So e-commerce separate we will be discussing small topic on that.
Okay, so come up with more questions and all other things. We will make the session more useful. Okay, RCM. Yes, RCM also we'll discuss how RCM is to be paid. So, okay. So just to take what is GST. Now we are thinking about what is GST. It's a tax on a transaction and how the transaction is to be ascertained to levy the tax. Let us see who will pay, how will pay, what is to pay, how to report, all other things. Okay. All this we will take. Now if we answer in between, so totally we will come up to the practicality. Let us understand the law first. And definitely we'll come up with how the things, what amounts to RCM, what not amounts to RCM. Okay. How to file the return, everything will come up. Okay. Hema. Hema want to talk? Jakanachari want to talk? Hema?
Nothing, sir. Nothing. Evening, I'll ask sir the questions, sir. I have most questions in the evening.
Welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay, Madam Ji. So, petrol tanker given for service to a company. Where to show in R1? Yes, sir. We'll come up all, you clip all these things. And you also ascertain. We will take up all the questions in the evening pertaining to the subject. If we take up the question in such a manner, the whole of GST applicable here and there, so totally we may get that flow not in a flow. So let us take it up. Subject by subject, step by step. Just MCQ for last two topics. Yes. MCQ for last topics. That will be okay. That will be taken up in the session. Don't worry. Okay. So Nagaraj, you want to talk? I think all of you have received the PDF of the last two sessions. I think Madam has sent the consolidated PDF. I have already shared you through the drive. So you can straight away, you can download that from the drive. Okay. Okay, in the similar manner, once this session is also over, the consolidated material will be given. Okay. Madam,
Yes, sir.
two people are asking PDF of the session of now. Is it?
Sir, after GST, I will give the.
Once that GST.
Yeah.
No, let us not give or give, that it is your discretion. Whatever you insist according to
Yeah,
it.
after GST chapter, complete GST, I'll be sharing the PDF.
Once the GST chapter is over, that would be better. Yes. Session by session, if we give, the overlapping questions for another session may also hamper. Okay. Okay. Let us all meet in the evening, sharp 6 p.m. So, happy day, one and all. Thank you, Madam Ji. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So,
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, madam. Shall I
Good
start,
evening,
madam?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, today's class, madam has already taken GST. So now, just because some of the people have asked how to read the act, how to understand the act. So, for that purpose, for the benefit of those people, just I am going with my personal experience. So now I will share you. First, I will tell you just to open your chat box and be ready. What is GST? Come on. I would like to know from you, what is GST? What is GST? Goods and service tax. Okay. Indirect tax. Okay. Is my voice clearly audible? Okay. Okay, only you are telling only goods and service tax. It is a collection from both direct and indirect sources. Okay, get broad-based value tax. Okay, entertainment tax, backbone of Indian economy, taxes ongoing, destination-based tax on goods and service, entire supply chain till customer, till consumer, levied on sales and service, luxury, indirect. Yes, 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 yes. All are yes. One nation, one tax. Okay, okay, great. So let me say something about what is GST. Okay, I would like to take you to a different mode of my understanding. Okay, is my screen visible to you? Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Ah, madam. Okay. So I would like to know whether I am right or wrong. GST. What is GST? When it was implemented? GST law was implemented in India 1/7/2017. Okay. Okay. Why it is actually implemented? It is called as the biggest reformation in indirect taxes. So GST. So what actually they call GST? They call it as good and simple tax. Is it right? Whether it is good and simple tax? Okay. It has been introduced because it has to take care of ease of doing business and carry out profession and employment. Okay. So what it is? Central and states are together. So that is the clarity, simplicity, and the transparency, which actually is the vision of it. Okay. It is federal unification. Generally, we call one nation, one tax, one market. What it is? Okay. So it is a national integrity. How? One person, one PAN, one registration per state. Okay. So the very purpose of taxation is consumer development. Whatever the taxes paid by a consumer should be made use of in his destination only. That's what actually it is called as consumption. Destination. Okay. So what is the process chain? So government is a lawmaker, consumer is the taxpayer, registered person is actually a collector because the consumer cannot directly pay. So whatever the organization, association and all other are all coordinators. Department is the regulator to watch whether the law has been properly implemented or not. So they are enforcement authorities. So we being the professionals, we are the facilitators. This chain we must know. Okay. So what is cooperative federalism? If you go by chapter number 1, 2, 3, you will come to know what is preliminary, what is administration, and what is levy and collection. So both state and central can collect, both state and central can administer, and it is applicable for the whole of India. So share, whatever the share comes, you have to share it. So there is a weight management. It is a dual structure. That's what actually called as grow and share together. GST is to grow and share together. Okay. GST. What you called is goods and service tax. Okay. Why? What? You have to go by definitions and the schedules that I will show you. So qualification, where actually qualifies? It qualifies only when there is a supply, which has been mentioned in Schedule 1. So then determination, how to identify whether it is a good or it is a service or it is a combination of goods and both services. That is to be determined through Schedule 2. Then you have to non-GST, totally out of GST. Okay. So that is exclusion. So then once you make this determination, then you have to make the bifurcation. If it is goods, it has to come under HSN. If it is service, it has to go by Service Accounting Code. Okay. So the rate notifications you have to follow. So the quantification. So definition in the tax rate notification you have to study. Only chapter 99 deals with services. Chapter 1 to 98 deals with HSN code. Yes or no? Levy and exemption. Okay. How much? If it is exempted, how much? Mixed supply, how much? Composite supply, how much? What is the transaction? If you come here, whatever may be the one's inward is somebody's outward. So generally we talk in broad parlance, B2B to B2B. Okay. C to B. What it is? B2B means business to business. Okay. C to B means consumer to business. Unregistered are called as consumers. Okay. G to B, government to business. Government to consumers. Okay. BWB, business with business. You might have some branches or some other organization outside the state. So each branch in each state is a different and distinctive registration. So in the similar manner, when it comes to outward, we call it as B2B, B2C, B2G, G2B, BWB. This is very much crucial. BWB means one branch to another branch of other state. There must be a quantification, but it will not amount to a turnover in our books of accounts, but it becomes a turnover in the parlance of GST. That we have to understand. So what is charging section? Forward charge, reverse charge, lateral charge, and cross charge. Forward charge we know, charging in our straight outward invoices. Reverse charge we know what actually we made from unregistered dealer, we have to pay on it. But there are also some reverse charges from dealer to dealer. That is section 9.3. So in the similar manner, lateral charge, what we call section 9.5, and the cross charge is also available in section 9. Okay. So then you have to determine, once you determine, you have to say whether you are SUZ, EOU, composition, intrastate, interstate, regular, all these things you have to determine. Once you determine this, then only you can understand. Okay. Then you can come to the location. What is the place of supply? From where to where? Then the nature of supply. If it is interstate, from one state to another, and export also. Intrastate means within the state territory. So then quantify, charge and collect. So interstate means you have to collect IGST. If it is intrastate, you have to collect CGST and SGST or UTGST. Okay. So tax invoice, bill of supply, debit note, credit note, these are all the documents. We born only on these vouchers. Okay. When to pay taxes, it determines about time of supply. So compliant discharge, that is filing of return. Then ITC claim. So seamless credit, we must understand what is seamless credit, what is utilization, what is cross utilization, and what is restriction. So then discharge the liabilities. So if you pay within the due date, you have to pay in accordance to the classification. Okay, otherwise interest and penalty, late fee may also attract. So excess claim, refund if eligible. Check the correctness. That is what actually we call it as matching process. Then the very purpose of harmonious atmosphere, what we call it is a guaranteed and secured transaction. Okay. So evaluation, you are already facing assessments. Reassessments, it is all happening. Okay. Tentative concluding process, what it is? Demand, collection, recovery. Then what you have to do? Either you have to go and you have to seek an advance ruling for your case, or you have to approach the appellate authority for advance ruling and also additional appellates. Okay. So state, then you have to go to any disputes, you have to approach the state, that is High Court. Then it goes to the law of the land, it is called Supreme Court. So this is the flow chart of, okay, my understanding of GST. So how to read? See, for example, if you want to know, you have to start from definition. So the section, rule and everything is there. I will tell you how to read all these things. Okay. In between, do you have any doubts about my flow? If you have any doubts, you can text here or you can raise your hands. Any doubts? Audio is clear? Yes. No GST from B, please know how to read. Yes. Sir, how to read, madam? Definitely I will tell you. How to read, definitely I will tell you. Okay. How to read. So first you have to read. What you have to read? First you have to understand how many acts are there? Kindly tell me how many acts are there? How many acts are there? GST. We generally say no, that is section. Sir, section 174. You cannot say 171. From section 1 to 174, many sections have been already added. It is 195. As on today, it is 195. 109A, 88A, 92A, okay, 83A, 83B, all these things have already been implemented. CGST, SGST, IGST, UTGST. Any other act except this four, any other act is there? One more act is there. That is the original act. Yes. The Compensation Act is the original GST. That is called Goods and Service Tax Act. In bracket, it called as compensation to the states. Total revenue is pooled in accordance to what actually the earlier experience of the state governments. In accordance to their share, the money will be transferred to their accounts. If there is any shortfall, that will be compensated. So that is the Compensation Act. That is the original act. CGST means the jurisdiction of central government. SGST means or UTGST means union territory or the states. IGST means it is a unified law. IGST generally we charge the whole amount of what actually the rates mentioned under the IGST Act. Okay, that has been splitted into two. SGST, CGST. That's all. So in that manner, we have to understand. Now I will show you how we have to. Okay. So is my screen visible to you? Is my screen visible? Madam, my screen is visible? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how to love GST? Can anyone tell? Come on. Come on. I have just mischievously typed some of the words here. Okay. Love GST because you have to live in GST. Since we all has to survive only with GST. Without that, okay, to understand the act and section, yes. Okay, you have to love, otherwise you will not memorize. You will not have any affection. Okay, so then what to do? So what to do? How to love GST? Many acts are there. SGST, CGST, IGST, UTGST, what all this? You always say one nation, one tax, one rate. Where is one nation, one rate, one tax? You are telling multiples here. So what is section? What is rule? What is form? So then what is notification? Okay, law related notification, rate related notification, amendment to the notification, circulars, okay, orders for removal of difficulties, many things are there. Advance rulings are there, case laws are there, circulars are there. Case laws means we can depend only on High Court and Supreme Court only. The respective state High Court is only the jurisdiction and the Supreme Court is the law of the land. Advance ruling is applicable only to the particular officer and the taxpayer only. Okay. So this is what actually the way we have to understand the GST. Okay. So then what we have to do? How to understand? Do you have any idea? So I will show you one more screen now. How to read act and rules. You put all the act and rules together just to make a simple Excel sheet. So if anybody asks how many sections are there under CGST or SGST, both are same. SGST, CGST, there are two laws. Okay, the CGST says central, SGST says the state name. That's all, everything is same. IGST is unified law. It applicable to state and interstate. So then how to read all these things? There are 21 chapters in CGST or SGST. There are 9 chapters in IGST. So totally if you take 30 chapters, there are 174 sections from 1 to 174, not 174, from 1 to 25. So accordingly, there are rules, CGST rule 1 to 162, 19 chapters are there. So if you want to understand preliminary, if you want to know preliminary, what is this? Section 1 and 2. So section 1 and 2 preliminary you have to understand. Then if you want to know about administration, section 3 to 6 in CGST, SGST, section 3 to 4 in IGST. Okay, levy and collection has been mentioned in section 7 to 11 under CGST, SGST, and 5 to 6 in IGST. So the time of supply, okay, is 12 to 15. The determination of nature of supply, you have to depend on IGST. Nowhere available in SGST or CGST. The place of supply is also available in IGST law. The zero rated supply is also available in IGST law. It is a unification. It is a compartment of sections, that's all. Okay. So input credit 16 to 21. Apportionment of credit 17 to 19 under IGST. Registration is common. Okay. Tax invoices are common. Accounts and documents are common. Returns are common. Okay. GST practitioners are common. But payment of tax, okay, and refunds, there is small deviation. The assessments are common, audits are common, inspections are common, e-way rules are common, demands are common, okay, liability, advance ruling, appeal, revision, offenses, okay, transitional, anti-profiteering, and miscellaneous. All are applicable here only. So in this manner, if you just make a spreadsheet, you can easily understand. So the preliminary section 1 to 2, where you have to read section 1 to 2, sorry, rule 1 to 2. So chapter 1 of GST rules. In the similar manner, administration, there are no rules. For levy and collection, there are no rules. So composite rules, composition has a rule. Okay, it is built in with the section 9, 10 only. Okay, so it is a levy and collection. Within that composition, rules will come. So in this manner, if you want to know what are the forms applicable, CMP 01 to 07, ITC 01 to 04, REG 1 to 30, ENR 1 to 2, GSTR 1 to 11 for returns. So in the similar manner, a GST practitioner, PCT 01 to 07. For payments, PMT 01 to 09. Okay. Refunds 01 to 11. Assessments, ASMT 1 to 18. Audit, ADT 1 and 2. Inspection. Okay. E-waybill rules, MOV 1 to 10. So demands and collection, recover, DRC means demand, recover and collect. That is 1 to 25. Advance ruling, appeal, revision, okay, offenses, transition, anti-profiteering. This is for job work and other things. So this is the way how you have to understand the law. So whether I am useful, whether my texts are useful or not. Is my texts are useful? It is, to some extent, if it is okay, I'm okay. Thankful. Okay. Okay. So, if any notices comes, how it will come? Come on, tell me. If any notice comes to you, how it will come? Madam, only 5 minutes, madam. I will sum up in 5 minutes. If, okay, it will come in email, it will come in airmail, it will come in registered mail, or it may come in direct hand to hand. ASMT 10 is there. Many modes. Whatever it may be. Why it comes? How it comes? Where it is written in the law? Where it has been written in the law? A notice is to be given. Who will give the notice? Why the notice will be given? So, any notice must be in a proper forum. That you must understand. If any notice comes, be careful. First, you take the notice and see in which form the notice is given. Whether it is ASMT 10, whether it is DRC 01A, whether it is DRC 01, or whether it is a ADT 01 observation, whether it is a GSTR 3A for not filing your return. All these things you have to watch. All these things. Forms. I will show you what is form. How many forms are there? Not much forms. Just you can see. Application for registration. So registration have 30 forms. REG 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this manner. Okay. So returns. There are 24 returns. So GSTR 1, 1A, 2, 2A, 3, 3A, 3B, 4, 4A, 8, 4, 5, 5A, 6, 6A, 7, 7A, 8, 9. Okay. 8, 8A, 9, 9A, 9B, 9C, 10, 11. Okay. Composition. You have CMP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So ITC, you have 5 forms. Okay. ITC 1, 2. 2A is also there. Okay. For payments, you have 8. Okay. RFD refunds. You have 14 forms. RFD 01, 01A, 01B. In all these, you have to see, all these have been given in a format. Okay, a practitioner, what form he has to use. So 7 forms are there actually, 2 is to be updated here. Okay, see ENR 1, 2, there are 2. Assessment and audit, all will happen. See, you are all getting ASMT 10. If ASMT 10 is given, that must be under section 9, rule 99(1). Okay, you have to reply in ASMT 11. If your reply is correct, the order will be given in ASMT 12. So ASMT 13 comes, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, all these things, audit. It will happen in ADT 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All these things are there. Okay, advance ruling. How to apply for advance ruling? How to obtain the order? See, what is appeal? What is appeal form? Okay, what is revision? What is revision form? Okay, what is transitional credit? You are all well aware. Tran 1, Tran 2. Okay, Tran 3 was also there. E-way bill, E-way 1, 2, 3, 4, INB 1. Okay, authorization. Okay, you have to see in every inspection whether the officer has come with INS 01. Sir, do you have INS 01? Kindly show us. Your dealer should have such a guts to ask it. Okay, order of seizure, prohibition, okay, bond to release, all these things. If you want to talk with any officer or anybody, there must be a form. So that is called form. That has a rule. A rule has a section. Okay, in accordance to that, a notification will be there, a circular will be there, case law will be there, or removal of difficulty, and so many things will be there. So you have the DRC 01. See all these things, 1A, 1A, all these things will come. So offense and penalties and all these things. These are all the forms. You must be well aware of what all the forms comes to us. So this is the way of understanding a GST law. Okay. Demand and payment. Demand, recovery and collection. Okay. Based on difference between 2A, 2B, everything, reminder. So reminder is also in accordance to that one only. If there is a provision, then only that will be given. If there is no provision, that cannot be given. Okay, there must be at least a circular. Okay, okay, gentlemen, you will all get all these things. Don't worry. Okay, what all you have to study is, just I will tell you. Okay, you have to study. Okay, you keep only these things ready with you. Okay, you keep CGST Act, you keep your state act, that will be published in your language. Okay, okay, there will be a rule. Okay, so there will be schedules, 1, 2, 3, all schedules will be there. Okay, in according to that, okay, first you have to see is definitions under CGST Act. Section 2, subsection 120 are there, up to 120. If you want to know anything, you have to search whether it has been defined in the law. If it is defined, what it says, what is consideration, what is turnover, what is state, what is India, it is also defined, what is India, who is the supplier, what is supply, what is interstate supply, what is intrastate supply, what is voucher, what is work contract, all these things. See, you have to go by that one. So definitions under IGST, definitions under UTGST, and certain definitions have been given in service notifications. See, advertisement, advocate, agriculture extension, agriculture produce, aircraft, airport, all these things, if you find in the law book, that what we call it as rule and act, nowhere available. It is available in rate notifications. So this type of idea we should have, then only comprehensively we can practice without any hassles. Okay, Everything has been written. Everything has been given. Even for your kind information, I have made a master index also. How to read. Okay. CGST, IGST, UTGST, GST compensation law with GST rules. Okay. So what section 2? See, all actionable claim where it has mentioned. Address of delivery, everything, aggregate turnover. So you can see the description is also given. All this material will be shared to you. GST forms. So HSN codes, I told you no, 1 to 99. So 1 to 98 is there, 99 is derived into 5 limbs. Okay. All these things are just about the GST law. Okay. If it is useful, take it. Otherwise, you text me personally. I will improve myself and will come in coming days. Okay. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, madam. Your session, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. It was very nice session, sir,
I
from
made-
your end. Yes. Mm. So from morning we have done up to the supply, like what invoice, time of supply. So what is continuous supply? What do you mean by continuous supply?
So if continuous supply means, then you have to go to the continuous supply definition and you have to find out. Okay. Madam has made a easy cake for you here. Yes, madam.
Yes. Yes, supply which is not complete. Continuous supply of goods means a supply of goods which is provided or agreed to be provided, continuous or recurrent in nature. Example, your internet bill monthly, okay, under a contract, whether or not by mean of wire, cable, pipeline, or other conduit, and for which suppliers invoice the recipient on a regular or a periodic basis, include supply of such goods as a government may subject to such conditions as may be notified. Clear? Examples for continuous supply: telephone bill, yes. Net bill. Any other example? Rent, yes. But what electricity is outside the preview of GST. Annual maintenance charges, subscriptions, yes. What about accounting and auditing? Our services, yes. Based on the contract, yes. So my first question, so I had taken an act, okay, that is my internet, where I had paid 6 months amount in advance. Okay. When shall I what invoice it? When shall I invoice it? Two options are there. At the time of payment, I had made a 6 months exact. Yes. So at when I have made the payments. Yes. So, in case of continuous supply of goods where successive statements of accounts or successive payments are involved, the invoice shall be issued before or at the time of each statement is issued, or as the case may be in such payments received. Okay. Where next, continuous supply of services. Okay. So agreed to be provided continuous or recurring basis under a contract. So period exceeding 3 months with a periodic payment of obligation and includes supply of such services as the government may subject to such conditions as may be notified. Okay. So in case of continuous supply, where the due date of the payment is ascertainable. So in your invoices, they will show that you should pay within 15th of next month from the contract. The invoice shall be issued on or before the due date. Where the due date of the payment is not ascertainable. Okay. From the contract, the invoice shall be issued before or the time when the supplier of the services receives the payment. Okay. Then next, where the payment is linked to the completion of an event, the invoice shall be issued on or before the date of completion of that event. Next is goods sent on return basis. So where where the goods were sent, okay, either you use it. If you satisfied, then I'll assume that it has a sale. If not, return the goods. In such cases, so whatever the time limits prescribed by the company or 6 months from the date of removal of the goods from the store, okay, whichever is earlier. Okay. Okay. So how do you value the supply? While calculating the GST, what are the costs which we include? Value of supply, freight, okay, cost plus freight, labor, yes, material, value addition. What about my customs? If I have imported the items, if the goods has been imported, yes, taxes, courier, custom duty borne by the importer. In case of importer, cess, custom ocean freight. Okay, yes. Yes. So, as per the provision is taxable supplies transaction, which is the price actually paid or payable for the supply of goods or services, and the price is sole consideration. Also, where the supplier and the recipient are not related or unrelated person. So, example. So, what I will give is one example. So, there is an e-commerce operator where I am the I do hotel business. Okay, I sell the products few via e-commerce operator. Customer buys. In this case, the hotel has 100 rupees, 200 rupees, some items price. Okay, where the e-commerce operator such as Swiggy given the 10% discount. Okay, clear? GST is paid by the customers. Now, at what price e-commerce operator will pay GST? Say if 100 rupees product is purchased, okay, 10% is given on 90 rupees GST is charged, which is borne by customer, which is collected by e-commerce operator. But hotel does not have any relation with the discounts, whatever the discounts, coupons provided by e-commerce operator. Such case, what is my transaction value? Whether 100 or 90? I'm asking transaction value, 100 or 90? Yes, the transaction value is 100. E-commerce operator needs to pay on 100 rupees, not on 90 rupees. Okay? Because hotel is not responsible for any discounts. If he merge 2 to 3 hotels food items, okay, he's giving if you order more than 1,000 rupees, you will have a flat discount of 25%. Example. So if 2 to 3 hotels items has been purchased from a customer, in that case, how do you value? So transaction value is taken, not 90 rupees. Okay. Actually paid. Transaction value which is actually paid or payable. Okay, whether the e-commerce operator like Swiggy, let him give 10-20% discounts. So I am not like I don't need of that. Okay, so for me the value is transaction value. At what price I'm selling in offline. So in hotels the same price I'll be charging in my e-commerce operation platform. Clear? The value. There are certain elements which is required to be included in the value of taxable supply is taxes, duties, cess, fees, charges, amount incurred by recipient on behalf of supplier, amount incurred like transportation charges, incidental expenses and amount charged for activities done before delivery as toll courier expenses, delayed payment charges. So if you are so already have given the 3 months period. So even after that also you are delaying the payment, interest, subsidies. Okay. Exclusion is one is discount given on or before the on or before the supply. Any discount which is duly recorded in invoice and given before the time of supply is required to be excluded from the value of the taxable supply. Okay, that is cash discount. Discount given after the supply post supply discount, any discount which is given after the supply. However, such discounts already decided as per the agreement between the supplier and recipient before the time of supply, and the recipient has reversed. You need to reverse the input tax credit or the value of discount, then such discount value is required to be excluded from the value of taxable supply. Okay, if after the delivery, after the supply, if you are receiving the discounts, to that extent, ITC should be reversed. Unless you cannot claim the discount, then it will be excluded from the transaction value. So next, so ITC. So if my output is IGST, so first utilization is I'll use my IGST. Second CGST. Then next SGST. Clear? Input tax credit. Next CGST. CGST first. CGST credits will be utilized. Then next IGST. So can I take SGST credit? Can I take SGST credit? Yes. No, sir. No. No. SGST, first my SGST credit, then IGST credit, then CGST cannot be taken. Cross utilization of credits are not available in where it is weighted between state and central. Yeah, no cross utilization. Yes. So in this cross utilization is not available. Only in IGST you can use first IGST, then your central goods service tax, then state. Okay. What do you, here is a definition. What do you mean by input? That is whatever the capital goods or services or supplies which you have taken or in course of furtherance of business, services, capital goods, the goods value of which capitalized in the books of accounts of the person claiming the input tax credit and which are used or intended to be used in the course of furtherance of the business. Purchase of plant and machinery. Okay. So eligibility criteria. Person should be a registered person to take the ITC credit. Okay, first condition. Unregistered person cannot claim the ITC credit. Goods or services are intended to be used in the course or furtherance of business. Okay. Buyer must hold such tax invoice or debit note or documents evidencing the payments towards the purchase. Okay. Such tax invoice or a debit note is filed by supplier in the form GSTR1 and it appears in the buyer's form GSTR2B. Amount should have credited to electronic ledger of such person. Okay. I should be registered. No. One, I should be registered and there should be intention to do the business and the GST you like whatever the purchase for personal use cannot claim the credit. Okay, it should be mainly for the business purpose and you should have a taxable invoice and that supplier need to file first GSTR1, then that will be reflecting in unless he filed the GSTR1 will be reflecting in my 2B. Okay. In that case, you can claim the credit. Next is you need to file the 3B, GSTR 3B to avail the credits. The buyer must pay towards the supply of goods or services within 180 days from the date of invoice. If they fail to, then the ITC already claimed will need to be paid to the government along with the interest. Under Section 50, the ITC claim can be again made once payment is made to the supplier. Can you say which section? Okay. Why this 180 days is given? Why? Please. Okay. What about Section 43B, which covers a certain class of people? Sorry. On actual payment. Initially, we had 180 days, right? So you had 6 months. So at least to clear the invoice. Yeah. So in this case, okay, when we were making supply of goods or services, we were delaying from 6 months, and even the payments never used to come. There were no track of those payments. Also, okay, in order to avoid that, we got this section, right? Only on actual payments for MSME. 45 days with the agreement that is MSME. So either you fall other than MSME, yeah. Other than MSME companies, 180 days as per GST will be covered. So if you're not paying, I mean, at least to that extent of GST credit, I'm saying, not the whole amount, not the invoice amount as per income tax. Clear? Okay. If the buyer must pay towards the supply of goods, okay, within 180 days. If he fails to do whatever the ITC claimed, okay, to that extent can be reversed. Okay, the next is no ITC can be paid on depreciation asset. Okay, so if I have capitalized the capital equipment, capital asset on invoice value, that is inclusion of GST, in that case, I can't claim the credit. Okay, ITC on tax invoice or debit note belonging to a financial year must be claimed within the time limit that is given by GST provisions, that is before September. Usually we claim, okay, common credit of ITC must be identified and split as it is used together for selling both exempt and taxable supplies or business. Okay, so there are what the formula. So how do you calculate? So your exempt turnover of that particular month, non-exempt turnover, total, then average. Okay, weighted average. On the basis of weighted average, okay, apportion the credit, then exempt one is not allowed. It's a block credit. Okay, there are certain items listed down, okay, which is not eligible. First, okay, block under block credits, conveyance and transportation. ITC cannot be claimed on passenger transport vehicle like three-wheeler, auto rickshaw, like three-wheeler, auto rickshaws, four-wheeler motor cars, two-wheeler cycles or motorbikes, buses or tempos having 13 seats or less, any other vehicles used on the road. However, okay, there's a condition. Still, it is available for purchasing passenger transport if the buyer is engaged in following business, passenger transport service, cab services, bus rental service, lease services, or mainly in transport business, automobile retail shops, manufacturing establishments and showrooms, and driving schools. Okay, ITC is available for transportation business and driving school. Okay, the next section is ITC is not available. Okay, where for the purchase of vessels, ships, and aircrafts. Okay, however, if the person is engaged in what reselling of ships, vessels, in such cases, ITC is available. Okay, like example, reselling. Okay, condition to claim is reselling of ships, vessels, on aircrafts as training schools for flying aircrafts and navigating the vessel ships, planes service, cruise service, boat rental services. So here trade, here school, okay, I mean training, then here on rent, business, okay, goods transportation services to trailers and trucks and tractors. Okay, in such businesses, okay, the ITC is available. Okay, if I am purchasing, okay, if I'm purchasing where business, I'm not using for my business purpose, such case ITC is not available. Clear? Yes, training, passenger, okay, and ITC is also cannot be claimed for buying insurance or repair cost of servicing cabs, tempo travelers, mini buses, ships, or aircraft. Okay, ITC is allowed in exceptional cases. Okay, buyer is engaged in the following businesses. That is from A to AA. Main use of trade business. Okay, manufacturer of conveyance listed above. Insurance companies selling general insurance for above mentioned conveyances. Okay, ITC is not available. Insurance and vehicle renting, food catering. Okay, ITC cannot be claimed on the purchase of the following items. So expenses are outdoor food, beverages, catering. Okay, expenses on cosmetic surgeries, beauty treatment, plastic surgeries, etc. Renting or leasing vessels, aircraft, motor vehicle is permitted. Obtaining life insurance or health insurance. Okay, incurring expenses for club membership, for health and fitness center. Okay, anything which is used for my personal use. Okay, expenses related to employee leave, home travel concessions during the vacation. So example, okay, what for food expenses for employees, in those cases, GST credit cannot be claimed. Okay. The next exception is whether you are doing on resale, composite or mixed, naturally bundled or artificial bundle, sold together with other products. Okay. If you are buying one bottle of shampoo, then you need to purchase one packet of coffee powder. They both are different. You're buying one bottle of shampoo and but buy one get one free. So what coffee powder is the free product, but your transaction value will be on weighted average. So whatever you have purchased, okay, the coffee powders, okay, from the dealer, in such case the GST credit can be claimed when it is mandatory to provide the goods and services to employees, okay, for legal complaints. Coffee or tea to employees, refreshment expenses. Yeah, here building construction. So my two question is, now I'm constructing a building. So I get the labor, raw materials, incurring all the overhead expenses. Okay, these have GSTs. Okay, can I claim GST credit? But I'm not the person who will do regular construction business. Can I claim the GST credit? For residents is not allowed. Okay, I'm constructing commercial place. Commercial place. For residents, personal use not allowed. Yes. If construction for commercial, yes, provided building is used for furtherance of business. Okay. If my second case, I don't want this, I have given to an builder. So he raised an invoice to me. Can be claimed? Builder raising an invoice to me. Yeah, builder can claim. I'm asking the whatever the invoice given to me in that GST credit can be claimed. Yes, only capitalized. So in a block of assets, good. If you are a registered real, you can't get tax credit on for the GST you paid on building construction, job work expenses, whether it is a commercial or residential building, including materials, your raw materials, sand, cement, bricks, etc. Also, if you spend money fixing or renovation of building, even it's recorded as an asset, you can't claim the tax credit. However, the company, however, the construction company, a builder or a promoter selling these buildings after construction means if I'm the real estate, my company is a real estate company. My main business is build, construct, and sell, transfer the goods. Okay, in such cases, the GST can be claimed. Okay, where there is no transfer of title. Okay, where there is no transfer of title. Okay, whether the building is constructed for my commercial use or for residential use, so GST is blocked. Okay, if you are using for construction of your building for commercial purpose, such case you will be capitalizing the whatever the GST credit. embedded on the earth cannot claim. Self apartments, sale of apartment, transfer of title deed, transfer of title. Okay. Then next, non-resident and composition scheme. Composition scheme, you're paying GST, output GST on my on the turnover base, either 1%, 5%, or 6%. If it's hotel, restaurants, and other than other services, 6%. Goods, 1%. Okay, on the turnover. In these cases, GST credits are not available. They are blocked. Okay, so since you're paying the GST output GST on a less reasonable rate, whereas non-resident, okay, so the non-resident has no, like he has is not liable, oh sorry, to claim the credit unless he should keep some deposit with the government. Okay, then next you can claim the credit. Okay, that too the credit is IGST credit. Okay, on the imports which he has made. Okay, that he cannot use for the other domestic purchases. Okay. Hmm. Here, see, the section 10 imposes restriction on composition scheme taxpayers, disallowing them from claiming input tax credit. Okay, since I'm paying the GST at reasonable price, the input credit is not available. So additionally, in section 17, subsection 5 of the CGST Act specifies ITC is not accessible for composition taxable person regardless whether they supply goods or services. Okay, whereas non-residential taxable person, he need to keep some deposit uh, with the department. Okay, they can seek ITC for the paid on imported goods but are not eligible to claim ITC for any other domestic purposes. Okay, non-resident taxable person. Then personal use. Okay, so purely use the goods or services used for personal use, GST credit cannot be claimed. Free sample, free sample or lost. Okay, to that extent, whatever the raw materials used, the GST on those raw materials should be reversed. To that extent, whatever free samples given or theft loss has happened, fraudulent activities. Okay, ITC cannot be claimed for the following. So, previous instant of non-payment or insufficient tax payment, overpayment of tax refund, okay, unlawful utilization or fraudulent acquisition of excessive ITC, willful misstatement or suppression of facts, or confiscation and seizure of goods. Okay, in these cases, ITC credit cannot be claimed. So, clear with this? Gift to customer, it is as free sample, right? There is no consideration. So it's like gift is like marketing, simple as marketing. So I'll be charging in my P&L at cost price marketing. So whatever the what input credit claim should be reversed. Yes, sales promotion, Diwali gifts. It's not eligible for ITC. Yes. So when the recipient does not pay the supplier within 180 days first, then where you have use for personal use and exempt, where you're trading with both exempt and non-exempt goods and used for capital goods. Uh, the next composite scheme cannot claim, you should reverse whatever the credits available. A person sells capital goods or plant and machinery. Next. So, the circumstances where ITC should be allowed is when it is used for purely for the business purpose, full ITC is allowed. If it's used for personal use, full ITC is reversed. if both the purpose, whether it's for both business and personal purposes, such cases to that extent, proportionate to the business purpose, ITC is allowed. That is value of exempt supplies into credit for the tax period. So what is my ITC credit received divided by total turnover? Okay. So under what circumstances GST registration, okay, post sale discount received without GST? No, I didn't get your answers. Taxable supply. Okay, yes. So what are the circumstances GST is required? Sorry, the GST registration is required. Circumstances in which GST registration is required. 40 lakhs interstate, yes. When you're doing an interstate sale, GST, interstate purchase, GST is mandatory. E-commerce operator, yes. Government contracts, yes. That's it. Casual dealer, yes. Only so much. E-commerce. What about the person, a taxpayer, who is who required to pay tax under RCM? Examples: if I'm purchasing cashews from the agriculture person, agriculturist, in that case, I need to be registered, right? Who is liable to pay under RCM, GTA? Yes, fire. Yes, voluntary also registration can be taken. So registration. So the amount of money a businessman makes a specific period. Okay. So in that current threshold is 20 lakhs, 40 lakhs for goods. Okay. So these are the basic documents required when registering your Aadhaar card, PAN card, passport size photograph, bank statement, mobile number linked with Aadhaar number, mail ID, registered address proofs, and supporting documents. If it's a partnership firm, partnership deed. Okay, if it's a company, certificate of incorporation, documents, an authorized person who is eligible for signing authority. Situations for the compulsory registration: interstate interstate taxable person, casual taxable person, person who required to pay tax under reverse charge, person who are required to pay tax under subsection of section 9, e-commerce operator. So e-commerce operator has no threshold limit. Okay, he is compulsory to get registered. Non-resident taxable person making taxable supply, like um is a SEZ person required. SEZ person is required to take GST registration. Question: non-resident. Example: Kata copy. Either property tax paid or Kata copy, where your in survey number, like in which plot your that commercial building is situated. Yes. Is SEZ is SEZ required for GST registration? Is it located within territory, Indian territory? Yes. Yes, answer. Yes, SEZ is identified as exports, zero rated, special economic zone. Is it within India, within our country? Yes, it's within our country, certain areas. Okay. Okay. In that, it is created as SEZ zone. So you need to get registered under GST. Okay. Like any person, what to say? With some trade benefits. Okay. They'll be applied for SEZ zone. Okay. In such zone, so whatever the sales has done, it is known as exports. Okay. And if they purchase, domestic purchase will be considered as imports. See, for certain transactions, if any supplier needs, he required a registration just for one particular period, temporary period, in such cases, registration is taken, okay, on occasional basis. Okay, person who makes taxable supply of goods or services or both on behalf of other taxable person on behalf, okay, whether as an agent or otherwise. Okay, in such case, GST registration is required, and ISD input service distributor. Okay, whether or not separately registered under this act. Okay, so example. Okay, corporate office and department A, B, C. I mean units. Okay, corporate office. See, these input credits will be taken by them only. Purchase of raw materials and others. Example: my audit service. Okay, so GST. I have a GST credit. In such case, what shall I do? How do I transfer to everyone? Can I transfer the credit? It's between the unit umbrella. Yes. Yes, I can apportion my corporate office where there is no transact, where there is no business. Okay. It's like an head office. Okay. In such case, whatever the credits which I receive, eligible ITC credit can be apportioned. Okay. Between three based on their turnovers. Clear? ISD credits. So the person, okay, who sells supplies goods or services other than this supplies, okay, specified under section 9(5), okay, through electronic commerce operation, who is required to collect tax at source, that is the person who is required to collect TCSs, like Swiggy, Zomato, your Uber, Urban Club companies. These are compulsorily required to register under GST. Clear? If you get notified by central government, compulsory registrations. Circumstances where GST registration is called is cancelled. Okay, unless business continuance. Okay, so you want to close, you apply for cancellation, transfer fully for any reason, including death of the proprietor, transfer of the business. Okay, then amalgamated with other legal entity, demerged, otherwise disposed of, change in constitution of the business, taxable person other than voluntary registered person who is no longer liable to be registered under section 22 and or 24. Clear? Yes. So next. Procedure for cancellation of GST registration. So you need to submit form GST registration 6 within 30 days, okay, of the occurrence of the event warranting the cancellation. Okay. Details held, inputs held in the stock and capital goods held in stock on the date of the from which the cancellation of registration is sought, its liability, details of the payment made against such liability to be disclosed. Okay, details of your input and whatever the liabilities paid towards that idea, what raw materials or stock or capital goods, those to be disclosed. Okay, so proper officer either on his own motion or based on the cancellation application cancel the registration. Okay, or either he may call for further clarifications. The cancellation of registration shall be effective from the date to be determined from the PO. proper officer. Okay, provided that during the pendency of the proceedings relating to cancellation of registration filed by such registered person, the registration may be suspended for such period as such may be prescribed. Okay. So few returns which normally we do is GSTR 1, where output sales outward supplies has been declared. Then GSTR 3B, your summary return where outward supplies and input tax claimed along with the payment will be done by the taxpayer. And GSTR 1, okay, 11th of next month. If for my February return, I'll be filing 11th today. Today is my last day. If it's a quarterly return, 13th of month of succeeding month. Okay. If for quarter 4, that is April, Jan, Feb, March, I'll be filing 13th of next April. Monthly returns 23rd of next month, and quarterly is 22nd of next quarterly, next succeeding the quarter. Then where statement cum challan to make the tax payment by the taxpayer registered under the composition scheme. Okay, on the turnover basis, he will be filing payment. That is CMT 08, 18th of the month of succeeding the quarter. The next GSTR 4, written for the taxpayer registered under the composition. That is on annual filing. That is 30th of succeeding financial year. 30th of month of succeeding financial year. 30th of April. So for financial year 23, 24, I will be filing of 30th of April, one or before. So the next is your GSTR 9C, annual returns and any reconciliations. Okay. That is 31st of December. Last is GSTR 9, final returns to be filed by the taxpayer whose GST registration is cancelled. Okay. Within 3 months from the date of cancellation, the date cancellation order, whichever is later. Clear still here? Clear up to here? Yes. So small questions, can we take small questions? I have some questions. Okay. Wait 1 second. A small question answer. Yes, question number 1. Question number 1. We'll have 2 question and answers. Yes. Option C. Still VAT is payable on alcohol. Then question number 2. What is mixed supply? Means, first, please understand the difference between composite and mixed. Composite, inseparable, naturally bundled. Mixed, artificially bundled. So, many have told option B. At least 2 labels and products that are just sold as set and cannot be sold independently. Means, what is my mixed supply? It is separable, can be sold independently, right? Restaurant is my composite supply, right? Your cannot be sold independently. This cannot means it's my composite supply. In my hotel, I can't keep only raw materials, okay, vegetables, right? There should be a process, dependent, right? The stock of a labor and a product starts with one state, then on to the next. No. The area of the provider and the spot of supply, the area of the purchaser are in the similar state. Even this cannot be there. A blend of at least two labors and products made together at the solitary cost. Huh? So I'm combining two items, mixed supply. Yeah, it's not a mixed supply, but if you want to go, what stone is compulsory, you can have a full gold ring also. So option A. So next, question number 3. Question number 3. What is the threshold limit? Swiggy, Zomato, they are the aggregators. See, they are the aggregator facilitators who make ease of the business with the help of IT. Option D. Not applicable. Question number 4. For what period is a registration certificate valid? Yes. Option C, till not cancelled. Transaction value. What's the answer? Option A, value or supply of goods or services. The highest price cannot be the value of a company according to stock market. No, none of the above options. Answer is option A. Question number 6. Option A now. I'm saying proportionate credit. If business purpose fully allowed, right? Personal use fully not allowed. Business and personal on the basis of proportionate basis. Option C. So question number 7. Yes, please. Question number 7. Please solve question number 7. How none of the above, sir? So, if my output is IGST, first is I will use my IGST, then second CGST, third later is SGST. Whereas my output is SGST, local sales. In such case, first is CGST, IGST, but SGST cannot be utilized. In SGST case, CGST cannot be utilized. Cross-utilization is not available. But whereas in IGST, you can use all the 3 credits. So now the answer, yes, 28,000. So on 8 lakh 40, 20% is my IGST. So it is 1 lakh 68,000 minus my 7 lakhs. 7 lakhs means SGST 35,000, then 35,000. Balance is 28,000. Option A. Question number 8. Who can avail the benefit of ITC? Yes, registered person. Question number 9. The tax invoice should be issued dash the date of supply. Twist. In law, it has not told 1 month. Your month can be 28 days, 30 days, 31 days, right? Law stated 30 days. Within 30 days from the supply of service. Option A. Not on time. Within 30 days. Clear? Next. Question number 10. Question A. No, question A, whether it's considered as supply. So I didn't have any intention to do the business. First, it was for my own use. And I purchased the personal car. Then after a year, I sell to the dealer. So I didn't have intention to do the business. There is no furtherance of business. So, no. It is not considered as a supply. under GST Act. Okay, what about point B? Provision of service or goods by a club, association, or a society to its member. Provision of services. Yes. So solution is yes. The provision facilitated by club, okay, like fitness clubs, okay, associations, society or such body to its members shall be treated as supply. Yes. Question number 11. Question number 11. Mr. B had as procured a machinery for 50 lakhs, paid GST of 9 lakhs. He has capitalized the invoice value and will claim depreciation of entire invoice. I'm saying entire invoice. Please advise on the availability of credit. No, yes. If it is capitalized, entire invoice is capitalized, you can't claim two benefits. Okay, one of ITC and one of depreciation. Either one should be claimed. So since it's claiming the depreciation, ITC credit cannot be availed. Hmm? Clear? Can we have 5 minutes break? Resume by 7:45? 7:45. We'll start by 7:45. So next question is, so can we start now?
Yes, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So while next after GST, like now we have calculated, we have paid the liabilities. Do we need to maintain books as per GST Act? Books, invoices, books and invoices are to be maintained. Yes, for 10 years. Okay. Yes. So first book to be maintained at the principal place of business as mentioned in the certificate of registration. In case more than one place of the business, the accounts related to each place shall be kept at such places of business. Okay, if there is a concept of branch and divisions, okay, in those branches we have kept, it should be communicated and it should be recorded. Okay, in such places also books accounts should be maintained, and registered person shall keep and maintain, okay, true and correctness of the accounts. Where if it's a manufacturing company, books should be maintained inward and outward supply, so you can calculate your input credit and stock available, but in a input has been exhausted. Okay, if stock is not available in your premises, but input has been still in your credit ledger, okay, to have a cross verification, stock of goods, input tax credit availed, those calculations, okay, output tax payable, and such other prescribed particulars. And period. Period is 72 months, that is 6 years. 6 years from the due date of furnishing your annual return. Okay. If for my financial year 23-24 is 31st December 24, right? Annual return submission. So from here 6 years, 6 years I need to maintain. Okay, that is up to 2030. I need to maintain the records. If if registered person is a party, an appeal, revision, or any other proceedings before any appellate authority or revisionary authority, appellate tribunal or court, or is under investigation of the offense, extended time limit shall retain the books of accounts for other records pertaining to the subject matter, that is for a period of 1 year after final disposal. So when you get the judgment, okay, that period, or for 72 months, that is 6 years, whichever is later. If demand is there, okay, in such case also you need to maintain the books. Still it has been, still you get the order. Clear? Six years. Yes, 6 years. Next, TDS. TDS. So is anyone done with TDS under GST? TDS under GST? Yes. Okay. So does everyone pays TDS under GST? Yes, for government supply. Yes. Yes, sir. Ha. If my deductor is government, okay, local authority or government agencies, okay, TDS under GST is applicable, okay, even after TDS under income tax, okay, where deductee supplies taxable goods or service of both shall deduct TDS if the total value of supply under a contract of taxable goods or service or both exceeds 2,50,000, then TDS is required to be deducted. Okay, 2%. Okay, the rate of such intrastate is 2%, or if it is an interstate, okay, 2%, intrastate is 1 plus 1. So provision for compulsory registration is there for all the deductors of the TDS. Further, if they are already registered under GST, then also separate registration is required as a TDS deductor. The return is filed under form GSTR 7. 2%. Yes, 2%, sir. Supply to the government. When you have a supply to the government where the consideration or invoice value is more than 2,50,000, then TDS is available. Sorry, TDS is deducted. Next, TCS. Your e-commerce operator. E-commerce operator. Okay, he's an aggregator, he's like an intermediary, he's providing the platform to the sellers, to sell their products to the buyer. So we don't know the person who is behind the seller. Such case, after receipt of the money, e-commerce operator will collect the tax from the seller. Okay, so e-commerce operator is not being an agent are the specified category of person who is required to collect TCS under GST. Some common day-to-day examples are Amazon, Flipkart, Urban Clap. Okay. The tax year 2,50,000 limit, is it available 2,50,000 limit for TCS? Is the limit available? No, there is no limit. The threshold limit, unlike for TDS, there is no limit for TCS. Okay, so that this is 1%, CGST, HGST 0.5, 0.5. So the TCS will reflect in your e-cash ledger, not as normal my LTC credit ledger. Okay, of the actual supplies, and can further be used for making the payment, taxes, or interest. Okay. Which return is GSTR 8? This monthly return shall be filed by e-commerce operators collecting taxes under GST. It should be filed by 10th of next month, which means the month of Jan should be filed by 10th of Feb. So clear up to here? No? See, in GST we have TDS and TCS, where if any supply made to central government where it is more than 2 lakh 50, so TDS will be deducted, and there should be a compulsory registration TDS at 2%. Condition is supply to central government or state government, okay, or then the supply consideration is more than 2 lakh 50. In such case, TDS at 2% under GST. Okay. TCS operator, e-commerce operator is an aggregator. Okay. In such case, he deduct TCS to the sellers at 1%. And 2 lakh 50 limit is not available here. Is not required. There's no mandatory. So clear up to here. Any doubts? So next is, give me the situations where refund can be claimed, ITC credit. Situations where refund can be claimed. Export, okay. Only export. Okay, if excess paid, you can claim the refund, but again there will be a wrong, sorry, getting the books of accounts checked. Cash paid is more. Accumulate. No. Okay. Right now, example. So my output is exempt. My output is exempt. So input I am purchasing items at say 12% GST, 12% GST. Now, can I claim ITC credit? Sorry, refund, ITC refund. ITC refund. I'm saying output is exempt. No need, no liable to pay. Yes, claim. See, I can claim reverse. ITC refund cannot be claimed. It is my cost to the company when my output in my ITC. If my output is exact, I cannot claim ITC. When I avail, should be reversed. Yes, you cannot claim ITC, and ITC refund cannot be claimed. Okay. If it's an export, yes, export. Output is pure export. Even though it's an exempt, I'm exporting. I have a consideration. In such case, ITC refund can be claimed. Yes. Either, see, if you have ITC can be claimed, okay, claimed. You can claim. But if you have domestic sales, you can utilize for that. Else, you have pure export. In that case, ITC claim, just it will be in your credit ledger. You cannot utilize also. In such case, you can claim for the refund. Yes, zero rated. So refund includes my zero rated supplies or inputs or input services used in making zero rated supplies, refund of tax on the supply of goods regarded as deemed supply, refund of unutilized ITC as provided under section 54(3). This all kind of will be dealt with this section. So in situations like export, refund of ITC, zero rated, accumulated ITC on account of inverted duty structure. Okay. The rate of tax on inputs being higher than the rate of tax on output supplies. Okay. Other than nil rated or exempt supplies, deemed export, refund of balance, e-cash ledger, when you have TCS. Okay, refund on account of issuance of refund vouchers. Okay, refund of tax wrongly collected and paid to the government. Okay, the next refund to the tourist, refund on account of court order, refund on account of finalization of provisional assessment. So excess payment due to mistake, refund to the UN bodies, etc., refund to the pre-deposit. So what is this provisional assessment? Is so I have some specular item. Okay. So for this value, I am not able to ascertain. Value I am not able to ascertain. So I approach my proper PO, proper officer. Okay, my assessing officer. So I'm saying that for this value, I'm not able to ascertain. So can you provide me the what the value of the goods? So on the basis of valuation, he may provide me on the provisional basis. Provisional basis, the value. On such value, I'll be paying the GST. Okay, GST. Clear? Okay, provisional GST. After the sale has happened, after the transaction, when the proper officer gives the best judgment, if it is an excess paid, refund is available. If it is a shortfall, you need to pay the difference amount plus interest. Okay, this is called provisional assessment that will be cleared in tomorrow's class. Okay, refund on the account of finalization of provisional assessment. Just Avinash. Okay, so on provisional basis, the value of the goods has been clear. What valued on that the GST is paid. Clear up to here? So my today's class first is what is my GST? What is the inclusion? Right? This will be sharing the PDF. So my GST, then my charging section 9(1) and 9(2), 9(3) e-commerce goods supply and e-commerce operator, right? Charging section forward charging. If forward charging means GST is paid by the supplier. If RCM basis means GST is paid by recipient of the goods. Then going with composite dealer. Composite, if your turnover is within 1.5 crores, then you can opt for the composite dealer, and his rate is at concessional rate. Goods 1%, hotel and restaurants except excluding alcohol is 5%, other services 6%. Then time of supply, that is your invoice or your services, whichever is earlier, right? 30 days. Condition is 30 days. You need to raise after removal of the goods within 30 days the invoice condition. Okay. So next, value. Value of supply. At what value the goods has been sold, your transaction value, what are the items included and exclusion of the items. Okay. So next we came with TDS, TCS, and my exempt goods, right? GST registration and voluntary closure and returns to be filed. Then my books of accounts to be maintained for 6 years. And records. And my last is my refund. So we are done with GST. I mean, to the part of calculations. So the next small part is e-way bill. When e-way bill is issued, e-way bill. Yes, place of supply moment. Yeah, we have done. Okay, I didn't put the place of supply. Yeah. If the goods value is more than 50,000, e-way bill is raised. Yeah, about 10 kilometers or 50,000. Interstate more than 1 lakh. Okay. Yes. Petrol and GST or non-GST. So, e-way bill is a compliance mechanism wherein by way of digital interface, the person like causing for the movement of goods upload the relevant information prior to the commencement of movement of goods. Okay. Then in that case, e-way bill is generated. Okay. What are the relevance? So at the what there will be a hassle free. So at what check post, due to e-way bills and invoice supporting documents, there will be a free movement. Okay. Then let's track the movement of goods, control the tax evasion, eliminate state boundary check post. Okay. Clear? So e-way bill is created where the consignment value is more than 50,000. Okay. Okay, one more question. Example, if my Amazon, example is like my Amazon. So I'm Amazon, okay. So where the seller is registered in Gujarat, okay. I'm purchasing, sitting in Karnataka, I'm purchasing the items. In such case, e-way bill is required. Hmm? No, why? Yeah, more than 50,000 have to raise. Well, there is a invoice, e-way bill is since in their app only that there will be a tracking, right? Picked from which port, only reference number, yes. So in such case, e-way bill is not required because each stage there is an update in the app, right? So balance we'll be discussing tomorrow.